Hello everybody, welcome to Everything IELTS. I will take you through the questions people ask me every day about IELTS. So the most commonly asked questions or frequently asked questions. If I don't answer your question in this video, please just write a comment and I will happily answer your questions in the comment section. So here we go. We have a lot to go through, a lot of questions that people ask me. So the first one is, what is IELTS? If you don't know anything about IELTS, this is what you ask me. It's a language test. It's an English test. That's what it is. It stands for International English Language Testing System. Long name, it's just a language test, that's all. It is owned by three things. It's owned by the British Council, it's owned by IDP, and it's owned by Cambridge Assessment English. It was designed by Cambridge, okay? This test is usually for people who want to study abroad in an English-speaking country like the US, England, Australia. Universities will require a language test. IELTS is the most common. Or for people who want to immigrate, move to another country. Countries often have a language test, an English test. IELTS is the most common. It's the most popular. What skills does it test? Well, there are 4 parts, right? Reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But overall, it's your ability to communicate. Can you communicate in English? How well can you communicate in English? How well do you read? How well do you write? How well do you listen? How well do you speak? And there are some, they're called sub-skills. So if you're reading, do you know how to skim? Do you know how to scan? Can you read for detail? So that's what it tests. How is it scored? Okay, so have a look at this. The band scores here, the lowest would be 1. That means you are not good at English. You can't understand me now. If you are listening to this video and you understand me, you are not here, okay? And actually there is a 0. There's a band 0. Band 0 means no, that's called no attempt. That means you did not take the test. You walked out of the room. And the highest is band 9. That means you're an expert user right there, expert. So some people think that for a band 9, if you want to get a band 9, you have to sound like me. I'm American, you have to sound American, or you have to sound English, or you have to sound Australian. You have to sound like a native speaker. Not true, not true, not true. That is not true. You can get a 9 if you are from China, Vietnam, Japan, whatever. You can get a 9. It's not easy, but it's possible. So you will do a listening test and you'll get these are called band scores. Let me write that over here. It's called a band score. These are called band scores. So the listening test, you do the listening test, you'll get a mark, a band score. Maybe it's a 6. And then you'll do the speaking test. Oh, you get a 5. And then you'll do the reading test, 6. And then you do the writing test, 6. So 6, 5, 6, 6. They will take the average of these scores and they give you an overall score. So that's how you get your overall score. Let me erase all of this stuff here. So this, what you're looking at now, this is called the band descriptors. Okay, you can see every type of band here. So look at this. Here's the band 9 right there. There's band 9 and all the way down to 0. You do not attend it. So if you're listening to my video right now, I guess you are somewhere in this area. You're probably band 5, 6, or 7. If you can understand me right now, I guess you're 5, 6, 7. So what we want to do is get you higher up the scale. But yeah, these are the band descriptors. The other thing is, you see this one for writing, task 1. There's a different one for task 2, and there's a different one for speaking. So there's 3 different band descriptor charts like this. There's 3 different ones. And examiners actually have a slightly different one. It's a little bit private. But you get marked on for writing, you get marked on 4 things: task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. You get marked on 4 things for writing. And again, you get a band score. Maybe you get an 8 for task achievement, 7, 8, 8. They take the average. This is the average. This is what gives you your score for writing. Speaking is the same. Speaking, you get marked on 4 things. They take the average and you get your mark. Okay. So a common question, what level of English do I need to take the IELTS test? It can test all levels. If you don't speak any English, you can take the IELTS test. Okay, you'll get a very low mark, but you can still take it. If you're American or English or Australian, you can take it. If you're a native speaker, you can take it too. The exam is pitched at intermediate. That means the listenings, the readings, the examiner speaking, it's pitched at an intermediate level of English. That is not super difficult and it's not super easy. It's right kind of in the middle there. So your speaking test, your examiner will be speaking kind of like I am speaking to you right now. That's about a band 6, band 7. Where can you take IELTS? There's a lot of different places. There's wherever you live, there's probably a place that you can take the IELTS test. So you need to contact the British Council or IDP. That's where you will take the test. That's where you will register for the test. You need to register at one of these places, and then you will take the test, okay, at one of these places. So where you register is where you will take it, and it will be a British Council office or an IDP office. How much does it cost? It depends. It depends where you are. It depends on the country you are, for example. It depends on the city you are. And you have to contact IDP or the British Council to know. One of the most common average right now is $225. This is 2021 when I'm making this video. Right now, the average is $225. How many times can you take IELTS? Good question. You can take it as many times as you want and as often as you want. As many times as you want. Some people think you have to wait 6 months. Nope, no waiting. If you don't like your result, go back, register, take it again, no problem. What if you need to cancel the test or postpone the test? Well, you got to call the test center where you registered and planned on taking it. If it's 5 weeks or before that, earlier than that, you can get a full refund minus a small fee. But if it's before 5 weeks, if it's 5 weeks or fewer before the test, you're not going to get any refund. You will be charged for it. Okay. Do you take all the sections? Remember, there's 4 sections, right? Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Do you take them all on the same day? No, we don't. Listening, reading, and writing are on the same day in that order. It's always listening first, then reading, and then writing. Bam, bam, bam. No breaks. There are no breaks. And then you'll do speaking maybe a week before the other tests, or maybe a week after the other tests, or maybe on the same day, but usually it's not. Usually it's on a different day. Okay, so just remember, speaking is on a different day. Some test centers allow speaking on the same day. So what should you bring? You need your ID. Do not forget your ID. I'm going to circle it. I'm going to draw a big heart around it. You need your ID. If you forget your ID, guess what? You go home or go to a coffee shop or go to a restaurant. You go somewhere and you cry because you made a bad mistake. You must have your ID. You can bring pens and pencils and erasers. Here, let me give you some advice. Don't bring that. You don't need pens. You need pencils. Pencils are good. Pens are not good. The exam center has pencils if you forgot them. If you forgot a pencil, the exam center will have one. And your phone. Your phone is off. They're going to take your phone from you. Your phone will go in a different place, okay? Your phone is not coming in there with you. Your speaking test is recorded. All of them are recorded. They are always recorded for very good reasons, okay? For very good reasons. Reason number 1 is quality control. Let me write that over here. Quality control. I'll write it right here. Quality control. The examiners are assessed. Okay, you take the test, you are assessed on your English, but the examiners too have to do a good job doing your speaking test. Okay, they must always give consistent band scores for the different levels. For example, if I'm an examiner, I listen to your speaking test, I give you a 6. And then you take the test again, and another examiner, he gives you a 4. That's a problem. There might be a problem with the quality. Maybe I did not do a good job, or maybe he did not do a good job, but there's a problem. So the British Council, IDP, Cambridge Assessment, they record everything to check the quality of the examiners. And if you, the second reason number 2, if you don't like your mark, if there's a problem with your mark, if you think it's wrong, you can complain. I'll show you what that means a little bit later. But you can contest the results, okay? You can contest the results. You can go contact the test center and say, hey, I don't think I got a band 6. I think I got a band 9. Go back and check that. That's possible, but it's going to cost you if you're wrong. And the last reason is security, okay? Do you need to use pencil? Well, it depends on the test center. All test centers can accept pencils for sure. My advice is never to use pens, always use pencils. The problem is when you're doing a writing test, if you're writing with a pen, you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna have to scribble out the mistakes and fix it. That's ugly. Just get a pencil, use a pencil. Or better yet, don't use the paper test. Don't take the paper test, take the computer-delivered IELTS test. That's what I would do. And I said that before. If you forget your pencil, you'll get another one. The exam center will give you a pencil. Do you get a certificate? No, there's no certificate. It's something called a test report form, the TRF. It looks like this. Looks just like this. Okay, it's called a test report form. How long is it valid? How long is you'll take the test, you get your band score. How long? It's good for 2 years. Right there. Do you need to pass each section to pass IELTS? I hate this question. This is the most common question. How do I pass IELTS? What score do I need to pass? I will make another video about that question because I really don't like that. You cannot pass the IELTS test. You cannot fail the IELTS test. There's no passing, there's no failing. This is a proficiency test, okay? It tells you if you're good, how good you are. Are you okay? Are you really good? Are you not so good? There's no pass and there's no fail. That's not a good question. What score do I need to get into university? Again, I don't know. It depends on the university. Some universities in America may be band 6. Some might be 5.5. If you want to go to Harvard, I think I would have to check. I think Harvard is a 7.5 overall. It depends on the university. What if I think my result is a mistake? Remember, I said this before. If you get your band, your mark, your TR, your test, your report form, and you say, oh, it's band 6, that's not true. That can't be right. I got a band 9. You can apply for an inquiry on results, okay? Within 6 weeks, you have to apply for that. You can go to the test center and you say, hey, I think there's a problem here. I think somebody made a mistake. You will pay a fee if you're wrong, okay? They will give it to other examiners. That's why it's recorded. Remember, your speaking test is recorded, and they will give it to other examiners, and they will mark the test again. If I mark it a 6, he marks it a 6, you have to pay a fee. But if I mark it a 6 and he marks it an 8, you'll get a full refund, okay? When do you get your test results? 13 days or earlier, within 13 days. What's the difference between IELTS, TOEFL, and TOEIC? Very good question. It's changed over time. Before, if you wanted to study at a university in the USA, you had to take TOEFL. A long time ago in America, there's no IELTS. Universities did not accept IELTS. That is different now. If you want to study in America, you could take the TOEFL test. That's a language test. You could take IELTS too in America. So TOEIC is traditionally, this one's usually for work, employment, right? I'm a company, I need some employees that speak English, I want to test them, TOEIC. So IELTS is always used for everything now. It's used for everything, for government, education, immigration, employment. TOEIC is only for employment. As far as I'm aware, it's not for immigration. TOEFL is only used for education. And if it depends where you are, I'm in Vietnam. TOEFL is a dying test. Not many people take TOEFL anymore. It's more difficult, and it's not used in England. It's not used in Australia. So IELTS is the biggest, it's the most popular test. How long does it take to move up from band 6 to band 7 or band 3 to band 4? It depends. Okay? It depends on you. It depends on your abilities to study. If you study well, if you study well, here's a number, 200 hours. Okay, this is not like, oh, I must study 200 hours. It's not like that. If you're really good at studying and you are studying every day, it might take you 150 hours. If you are fake studying, let me write that over here. I'm going to call that fake studying. And this is very common, fake studying. Do you know what fake studying means? That means you will go to a school, a language school, and you will walk through the doors. You'll sit in class, and then you will chat with your friends in Vietnamese or Japanese or Chinese, and you don't study at all. You're just kind of like, you're there to have a good time, not to learn. That's fake studying. You're not going to improve. It will take you a long time to go from band 5 to band 6. But if you work very hard, 200 hours about, maybe fewer. What's the difference between academic and general training? Academic is for universities. If you want to study, if you're going to study abroad, you will take the academic test, okay? If you want to immigrate, immigration purposes, maybe you want to move with your family to Australia, that's immigration, you'll probably take the general training. They're a little bit different in terms of the sections. Listening and speaking are the same. Those are the same, but the reading and writing are a little bit different. Academic is more difficult than the general training. So let me come back here. Let me have one last final word with you. These are the most common questions people ask me about IELTS. There's a lot more, but these are the most common. If there's a question I did not answer, you want me to answer, please just type it in the comments and I can answer it there. Thank you for joining me in this video. I appreciate it and see you next time.